Fox News, my friends. FBI arrests Wisconsin judge alleging she obstructed the arrest of an illegal alien. Now, we have the FBI charging document right here. Let me just start by saying 2 judges isn't enough. But I'm okay, right? I'm not, I tweeted 2 judges isn't enough. I tweeted it has begun. I'm a fan of the work of Cash and Dan so far. And there are these right-leaning people who are like, oh, now they're all going to cheer for a low-level judge. This is not the kind of justice we want. I say, calm down, good sir. It's been 3 months. Give Cash and Dan a chance. Bro, I do not believe that Cash Patel and Dan Bongino would walk into the middle of the culture war, cold civil war battlefield, knowing that they face prison if Democrats regain power and then do nothing. They already went after, they got Papadopoulos. They went after Flynn. They put Bannon in jail, Navarro in jail. Giuliani is facing charges. They went for Trump's lawyers. Cash Patel and Dan Bongino know full well that if they do not win this, they have put everything on the line. So it has begun. Now, this criminal complaint is crazy. This is a document, United States v. Hannah C. Dugan. And I'll give you the simple version real quick. Illegal immigrant in a courtroom. ICE agents show up and they say, okay, we're going to arrest this guy. They tell the ICE agents, no, just wait until the hearing's over. Let the judge do her thing. And then you can arrest the person. They said, okay. Somebody whispers to the judge, feds are here to arrest this guy. She's furious. She comes out and starts yelling at him. They have to go to the chief judge while they're basically explaining, we have a right to be here. We have a warrant. She's like, you don't have a judicial warrant. You got to leave. And they're like, it's a public building. We can be here. She then goes into her courtroom, effectively expedites or dismisses. I don't know if she dismissed, but she convenes, or she basically ends the proceedings and then tells the illegal alien subject to arrest and deportation to go out a non-public exit used for jurors to evade the police, to evade law enforcement. That's why she's been arrested. But check this out. We have this thread from Margot Cleveland. She says, criminal complaint unsealed in case of Wisconsin judge helping illegal. It is jaw-dropping. In the document, number 6 says, I am aware from a review of public records that on March 18th, Eduardo Flores Ruiz was charged in Milwaukee County Circuit Court, case number blah, with 3 counts of battery, domestic abuse, infliction of physical pain or injury. Not merely 3 counts of domestic battery with physical pain or injury, but he had already been deported once and illegally returned. So ICE goes to arrest him. Some agents notified security and explained the arrest would be court proceedings in the public area, would be after. Others went to the court and notified the court security agent. So this is basically what I just described. A public defender took pictures of the agents and then went and told the judge's clerk, who told the judge. The judge then basically tells the agents they have to leave. We'll scroll down because I talked about this. Courtroom deputy is a good guy. Judge tries to rush the domestic abuser through the process while everyone is supposedly tied up talking to the chief judge. And apparently the victim of the domestic abuse was there too. And she's trying to save this guy from deportation. She takes them out to the jury room. It says, despite having been advised of the administrative warrant for the arrest of Flores Ruiz, Judge Dugan then escorted Flores Ruiz and his counsel out of the courtroom through the jury door, which leads to a non-public area of the courthouse. These events were so unusual for 2 reasons. First, the courtroom deputy had previously heard Judge Dugan direct people not to sit in the jury box because it was exclusively for the jury's use. Second, according to the courtroom deputy, only deputies, juries, court staff, and in-custody defendants being escorted by deputies used the back jury door. The judge adjourned the criminal case against the illegal who was charged with 3 counts of domestic abuse, and where the victim was present, state's attorney only discovered later when case was not called. Agents then observed illegal and his attorney trying to leave the courthouse through the back way, and it took some 22 minutes for them to catch him following a foot chase. Can you believe this?
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
I can actually.
And so, I believe we have an image right here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's. I would like to zoom in and get this nice and big for you. That is the arrest of the judge, and it looks like she's not wearing her judge's robe, is she? That's like a hoodie or something.
No, I think that's it.
Are you sure they have hoods on them?
Maybe.
I don't know, man. But they got her. Lock them up.
This is great news that there are actually repercussions for this kind of behavior. This is something that we talked about. It was in regard to Congress people talking to immigrants or illegal immigrants, saying you don't have to talk to police. AOC we discussed, Ilhan Omar we discussed.
Aiding and abetting.
Yeah, aiding and abetting. This is a clear violation, and it's great that she's been arrested.
I am tempted to just put on some 80s music and sit here bobbing my head to it the whole time with various news articles saying judge arrested over and over and over again.
Let's do Simple Minds. Don't you forget about me.
That's right.
That's a good one to start with.
So Grabian, Tom Elliott, he had this great post where he compiled all of the statements from Democrats and media personalities saying no one's above the law over and over and over again. And so as a matter of happenstance, we were singing that song by, was it BJ Thompson or whatever his name is? Thomas? I don't know. The Raindrops Are Falling on Your Head.
Raindrops keep falling
Butch
on
Cassidy
my
and the
head.
Sundance
Yeah, we were
Kid.
playing that.
Is that what it's from?
Yep.
And so we were playing that while I was listening to this video. And so I just figured I had to go into Premiere and edit them together.
The idea that no person is above the law is a bedrock principle of American justice.
No man is above the law, no matter what the crime.
And I agree with you. No man is above the law. No person is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one's above the law. No one is above the law.
No man is above the law.
All right, that's enough of that. But you get the point. It's a Good Friday. I figure we'll party afterwards, and it's only just begun. Hopefully, it beguns a lot more after this, and we get a lot more.
I think technically it wasn't last Friday Good Friday. It's just an even better Friday.
Yep. This is Gooder Friday.
I would argue that many Christians would not consider today to be Gooder Friday, but a secondary compared to Good Friday, that's probably way better than today.
Second best Friday.
Second best Friday.
I think I know I'm biased. We're all sort of biased in our living bubbles, but it's just at its face, like these people abetting illegal immigration is horrific for the future of the country. It can't be tolerated.
Not just that, he was accused of fairly
Mercilessly
serious crime.
beating a woman.
Well, what really gets me about this is Amy Klobuchar had posted, she's like, this is not normal. Like just these alarming, these pearl clutching posts that are coming out from congressmen, and it's all repeating.
She's right, though. Amy Klobuchar's right.
That it's not normal to arrest judges.
No, it's not normal for judges to aid and abet illegal immigrants and let them get away.
Yes. So she just has the audacity to really gaslight people who have been paying attention on this. And she said, this undermines checks and balances. It's like, no, the only checks and balances being undermined is the judicial branch to Congress. This is undermining their laws. This is undermining the naturalization process, undermining the supremacy clause.
You know, there's another song that comes to mind. It's the one where it's like, I don't care, I love it. You know that song? I don't care.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like the Democrats can whinge all they want, and I'm just going to say, I don't care, I love it.
So I think, Josie, what you're saying is this judge was violating due process.
Yes.
Clearly. Well,
Yes.
violating the law.
But that's the thing. It's like accuse your enemy of that which you are guilty. And so that's what they do. And as soon as they did that, it all makes sense of what's actually happening. So judges, supreme and inferior, according to Article 3, they have the right to serve in times of good behavior. Aiding and abetting and harboring fugitives is not good behavior. That's bad behavior.
Lock them up.
Are they considered fugitives technically?
Yes.
Illegal immigrants?
Yeah.
When this person was a fugitive, they were wanted for arrest. The court proceeding was adjourned, and they escaped out the back of the building.
Are illegal people here illegally technically fugitives, or is it only if you try and get them and they run away?
Indeed.
They're fugitives.
Yes.
And this guy had an order for expedited removal. They do not have trials for this. The media is gaslighting the public into thinking there's a criminal trial for every illegal immigrant.
Did you know that Barack Obama, 75% of his deportations didn't have any due process?
Is that because none was
See,
needed?
I got to stop you there. That's wrong.
That was from the ACLU.
They are lying.
I guess that's fair. The ACLU does lie.
Indeed.
Yes.
Due process does not mean a criminal trial.
Well, that's what I mean. Dude, they didn't deserve a criminal trial, so they didn't get one. Therefore, due process was
Yes.
followed, even though there was no process. Well, the process was just get out.
See, this is the gaslighting. And I got to stop you. This is the gaslighting. They say they were deported with, like under Obama, none of these guys got due process. That's incorrect. What process are you due? Okay, as an illegal immigrant, you get reviewed by law enforcement. They check your IDs. They can check the IDs and detain any American citizen at any point. If there's reasonable suspicion, which is incredibly easy to get, an officer can stop you and ask you questions. They can ask for your ID. You don't have to give it to them. You can say, am I being detained? And you can go. But if they have reasonable suspicion that you're an illegal immigrant, they can escalate a little bit. Often what happens is they find out the individual is not a citizen or suspicion grows to probable cause. And then they say, okay, expedited removal. That is the process that you are due as an illegal immigrant. So what's happening now is Democrats are trying to create the idea in the minds of Americans that due process means flatly 100% criminal jury trial with a defense counsel. That's for American citizens. Due process is different in many different cases. Okay, so due process can be if a judge denies your evidence. You as an American, if you're a J6er and you get a criminal trial and a jury and legal counsel on both sides, and then you say, Your Honor, this video is exculpatory evidence proving I'm innocent, and the judge goes, you can't show it. That's a violation of due process. But you got a criminal trial and a hearing and all of those things. Due process does not mean criminal trial. So when we issue expedited removals, they never go before a judge. An ICE agent finds a guy, they investigate, they say this person is an illegal immigrant. They file for removal. They negotiate with the home country, put them on a plane, and fly them back. End of story. That is due process.
I found the ACLU how they worded it. The Obama administration has prioritized speed over fairness in the removal system, sacrificing individualized due process in the pursuit of record removal numbers. This was 2014. The deportation system that heard 75% of people through fast-track streamline removal is a system devoid of fairness and individualized process. So that's how they were able to word it and get away with pathing it off as truth.
Indeed. Mm-hmm. Now you've got that story that we've gone over a couple times where it says Trump wants no trials for illegal immigrants, but they never got trials in the first place. Yes. The rare circumstance where illegal immigrants get trials is if they have, like, let's say you're granted a 10-year visa for some reason, and then 3 years in, they tell you they're revoking it and they cite some reason. You can challenge that. And then you go to court and you challenge it. Then you can file an appeal. But so in the instance of Abrego Garcia, he had an order for removal and he conceded he could be deported, but his lawyer tried using asylum and 2 withholding of deportations claims. And that's how they filed after the fact. So this went before these judges are executive branch magistrates. They're not like courts. It's an immigration judge who just says, yeah, he can go. And then they were like, we want asylum. That's the game they try to play. Democrats are trying to get asylum claims for every single one of these people. Fake news. Send them home.
Absolutely. I mean, it should be obvious that he gets sent home. But I think that the fact that they've arrested, 2 judges now, the judge and his wife and this other judge, is good for the American people in that they see that there are repercussions. They see that the administration is not just talking about stuff. They see that the things that Republicans have been saying for the better part of a decade, they see that there's actual movement on this stuff. I don't do predictions very often, but I am of the opinion that this will probably have a positive effect on the administration's overall, how people look at the administration.
Well, the risk is when there's like with them striking at this one judge, other Democrats are going to try and go underground. They're not going to stop their work.
That's what I'm talking about.
They're going to entrench.
It's
not that you don't do it. It's that you have to be prepared that they're going to try and hide now.
And also, they're going to try and liken it to the way that the Nazis people were hiding Jews in their houses, like Anne Frank, and the Nazis were going door to door searching for them. They're going to make it seem like that, even though these people are illegally immigrated to this country and need to be removed, whereas the Jewish people were citizens of the German country.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.